When it comes to caring for your houseplants, a common question is, how often does my plant need water? One of the first things you want to do is find out, what is your plant? Make sure you have a plant label and find out what kind of family is the plant in. And it will relate to its watering needs. Cactus and succulents, for example, come from dry areas and the desert, so they don't need as much water. And you want to know that when you're approaching your watering, because a plant like this succulent, it has fleshy leaves. If you give it too much water, it'll just keep taking it up and the leaves will mush out and the roots will rot. Keep in mind that the #1 problem with houseplants is overwatering. So how do you know if your plant does need water? One thing you can do is actually feel the soil with your hands. If it feels dry about an inch down, you definitely should water your houseplant. The other thing you can do is water your plant thoroughly and feel how heavy it is. So you have a gauge of what that plant feels like when it's well watered. Then when you pick it up later and it feels really light, you'll know, gee, it must be time to water my plant. The best way to water is to actually bring your plant over to the sink and let the water run through the drainage holes of your pot. A couple of things to keep in mind. You don't want the water to be too cold or too hot, and you actually want the water to just kind of trickle out so that it's really saturating the soil. Now there are times when that isn't practical. Your plant might be too big to fit in the sink, so you're going to have to use a watering can. When you're using a watering can, the same rules apply. Make sure that the water isn't too hot or cold and kind of go slowly so that the water really gets into the soil down to the bottom of the pot. Now when you're using a watering can, it's generally a large plant, and you're probably using a saucer to protect your floor and to protect your furniture. One of the problems with saucers can be if you water the plant too much and the plant is sitting in water, it can cause root rot. So be careful when using saucers. Remember that overwatering is the biggest cause of problems with houseplants, and know what your plant needs. If you want more information on houseplants or anything specific, visit our website.